Like I said after last game, I'm an overrated bum, and only reason I'm even relevant is because of Caitlin Clark. I might play the victim card again after tonight because I shat all over the court once again, and I had to be out there with 5 minutes left because I couldn't finish the game with 0 points, or else Twitter would have a field day with me, so I can't let anyone see me go scoreless.
Angel Reese didn't just have a bad game. She made WNBA history, for all the wrong reasons. 0 field goals, 5 turnovers, national TV.
Yikes. Mamma mia. 2 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals. 0 for 8 from the field. 33% from the free throw line. Angel Reese, point forward. 5 turnovers, 1 assist, point forward. 1 assist, 5 turnovers, Angel Reese, point forward, yet again.
And while the Chicago sky crumbled, Caitlin Clark was quietly leading a revolution in Indiana.
Handoff, Clark. Skip pass, left wing, Cunningham tees it up, and the 3 is good!
This is the moment everything changed. Angel Reese came into this season with the spotlight blazing. Endorsements, expectations, millions of fans watching every move. But when it mattered most, she vanished.
Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Angel Reese back in action against the New York Liberty. And what did she do last year? When it came to the double-doubles, she broke records. Angel Reese picking up right where she left off, breaking more WNBA records, but unfortunately for Sky fans, it came in the form of a loss, 99-74. The Chicago Sky.
No field goals, 0, not a single shot made. She played 27 minutes and didn't hit 1 basket. And this wasn't just a bad shooting night, it was a breakdown. 1 possession went so viral it had the internet asking, "Is this even real?" Reese grabbed her own rebound not once, not twice, but 4 times in a row, and missed every single putback.
Let's get to this. This is the most, again, as the kids say, diabolical sequence. This is the nastiest work ever put in. I mean, porn stars don't put in this kind of nasty work.
Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, which she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, "Give me that." How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block.
Oh, God. At least she finally passed the ball out. Oh, my God.
Wide open, no defenders in sight, just her and the rim. And she still couldn't convert. And this wasn't a one-time thing. Reese shot 0 for 8 from the field, gave up 5 turnovers, and got hit with a technical foul for arguing with refs. Add it all up, and you get one of the worst individual performances in WNBA history.
Well, it may be time for Angel Reese to consider taking up a different game. Tiddlywinks, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what game she wants to possibly take up. I know one thing, she can't wait for the Unrivaled season to start at this point.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky weren't just losing, they were getting embarrassed. After being crushed by Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever just days earlier, they followed it up by getting destroyed again, this time by the New York Liberty.
Exhausted, sitting here watching that. I am exhausted right now.
I think Angel and Jonquel are both exhausted as well.
The Sky put up 9 points in the second quarter. 9. That's fewer points than fingers on your hands.
The Chicago Sky, you're seeing that right. 9 points in the second quarter. 9 points. Folks, if a team scores less points than you have fingers, that's bad. That's bad. If a team scores less points than the amount of fingers you have, that is a serious issue.
Over 2 games, Chicago was outscored by a combined 60 points, the worst start to a season in WNBA history.
But this year, we're not just going to roll over and let you get your double-doubles. And the New York Liberty, shout out to them. When Chicago Sky came to town, New York Liberty beat them down.
Fans were calling it a basketball funeral. Even casual sports fans who never watched the WNBA were posting memes and clips of Reese's missed layups. And when you looked at Reese's body language, It told the whole story. Slumped shoulders, blank stares, constant frustration. Even her own teammates looked confused.
I'm going to point something out. Is the weight of the burden of what did not transpire this past weekend also coming down on her? Because, again, here we are. How many days later? This is Friday. That was Saturday. 6 days later, not a lick of proof of any kind of racial allegations, proof, nothing.
At one point, you could hear a fan yell, "Pass the ball!"
Again? Bro, no way, bro. No way! Pass the ball!
While Reese went up for another wild shot under the rim. And just feet away, Courtney Vandersloot, one of the most respected veterans in the league, standing wide open, hands raised, watching helplessly as Reese missed again. It didn't matter that she grabbed 12 rebounds. Nobody remembered that. When you go 0 for 8 in a professional game and score just 2 points, the rest becomes irrelevant. And yet, as Chicago spiraled into chaos,
something, as the kids would say, diabolical was taking place last night. And it was Angel Reese setting women's basketball back 30,000 years at this point. I mean, truly. I would say back to the age of T-Rex, but she does get rebounds, so she can actually rebound the ball. What she cannot do is shoot the ball at all.
Something entirely different was happening in Indiana. Caitlin Clark, the player who gets booed in away arenas and praised like a superstar in home games, was doing what stars are supposed to do, leading her team.
Caitlin, left lane, step back jumper, and it swishes in. Eyes down the floor, snaps it past Cunningham, underneath the hoop, reverse layup, left to right is good. Oh my! That ends the first half. Fever 37, Dream 34.
After getting pushed around by Atlanta just 2 days earlier.
Signature Caitlin Clark shot. She will launch. Oh yes! Caitlin Clark's fifth three on the night. Our Indiana Members Credit Union winning combination is Boston to Clark. We've seen her hit some impressive shots over her short time in Indiana, Debbie. That is right up there with them.
They're down 11 to start the fourth quarter and 2.
Clark and the Fever came back with a statement win. And while Clark didn't drop a triple-double this time, she didn't need to. She controlled the game, slowed down the pace, got her teammates involved, and made sure everyone stuck to the plan. That's the difference. That's the line between chaos and leadership. One rookie is drowning, the other is learning how to swim with sharks. When the pressure rises, some players shrink, others evolve. Caitlin Clark is evolving. She's not just surviving in the WNBA, she's learning, adapting, adjusting, and most importantly, she's winning.
On the bounce, 3 seconds to go in the half. Caitlin, left wing, off balance three. Got it! Caitlin connects. A screen. Clark, long three. Buries it.
She starts 2025 with a triple-double.
Against the Dream, Clark didn't try to play hero ball, she trusted her teammates. Players like Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham exploded off the bench, while Aliyah Boston controlled the paint. This wasn't just a one-woman show, it was a team responding to adversity, and doing it fast. That's what real contenders do.
Clark found a lane and she'll take it. Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark finding a way to miss.
Excellent.
Shifty getting into the paint.
Pedal, and she's stayed in it mentally right here. She does a little hezzy. Spin move, gets Howard.
Now, Atlanta has 3 players in the starting lineup with 3 or more fouls. BG on the bench right now is 5, as Aliyah Boston's strong move gets the bucket.
The Fever played with chemistry, energy, and purpose, the kind of intangibles Chicago is clearly missing. Because while Clark is surrounded by players finding their roles and stepping up, Reese looks isolated, confused, pressured, alone. And it's starting to show. Social media didn't just turn on Angel Reese, it devoured her.
Okay, so now we've got a person standing in a room with a spotlight on them every time they play basketball. And the basketball's not good on top of it. It wasn't good beforehand, but guys, 26 minutes. Almost 20. Let's just call it 27 minutes. When you're at 26:56, we're calling it 27 minutes. 0 from 8 for the field. 8 offensive rebounds. Don't worry, we'll get to the video.
Clip after clip of missed layups, rebounds with no finish, meme after meme of her going 0 for everything. The fans weren't just frustrated, they were stunned. The reactions weren't quiet either.
Yikes. Look at this. Oh my God. This is a sequence of events over 20 seconds. It's ugly. Angel Reese, offensive rebound. Jonquel Jones blocks Angel Reese. Offensive rebound. Jonquel Jones blocks Angel Reese. 1 foot layup. 1 foot layup. Offensive rebound. Misses layup. Offensive rebound. Misses layup. Offensive rebound. Holy hell.
One user wrote, "She grabs rebounds like a beast and shoots like she's never played before." Another said, "This isn't a rookie slump. This is a basketball crisis." And perhaps the most brutal comment of all, Caitlin Clark gets hate for being too good. Angel Reese gets love for being on the court. That's the reality we're in now. One rookie is rewriting the story of women's basketball. The other is stuck in a viral nightmare she can't escape. But here's the question no one wants to ask. What if Angel Reese doesn't bounce back? What if this isn't just a bad week? What if the pressure, the spotlight, the expectation? What if it's all too much, too fast? Because right now, every time she takes the floor, it's not just a game anymore. It's a test. And the next time she fails, it might not just cost her a win. It might cost her everything.
It's game day in the A as the Dream welcome in Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, who are looking for some get back after dropping their previous game back on Tuesday against the Dream. Caitlin Clark has created some history to start the season.
Caitlin Clark just had the worst shooting game of her career and still embarrassed Brittany Griner on her home floor. The trash talk was real, the revenge brutal, and what happened next will shock you. She went 0 for 5 from deep and still took down one of the most dominant players in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark didn't just win, she humiliated Brittany Griner, and the moment she said, "I'm not scared of you," everything changed. This was personal. Just 48 hours earlier, the Indiana Fever were embarrassed on their home floor.
Howard had it blocked at the rim. Howard pulls it down. Howard's shot is short. And Atlanta will escape with a victory.
Out-rebounded, out-muscled, outplayed. Brittany Griner dropped 21.
Howard has the assignment. Griner has the size, ducks in. Oh, pretty finish.
You got to make her make that tough play and not foul her.
Caitlin Clark, she walked off defeated. But on May 22nd, everything flipped. Griner scored just 5 points and fouled out. And even though Clark had her worst shooting night in over 3 years, she stood up to Ryan Howard, looked her dead in the eye. "I'm not scared of you." Brittany Griner came into this game ready to dominate. She thought it would be another easy night in the paint, but Indiana had a plan.
Sophie Cunningham smothering defense on Alicia Gray. The double team comes over for BG. She has 5 seconds to work with. In and out. Bree Jones tried to get it up. That's blocked by Howard.
Every time Griner touched the ball, she got swarmed. Double teams, contact, chaos. By the fourth quarter, she was frustrated, out of rhythm, and in foul trouble. With 3:38 left, she fouled out. The arena went silent, but that's when Natasha Howard turned into a monster. 26 points, 12 of 17 shooting. She erased her bad game one and took over the second half.
Seasons ago, but she's come in this season with authority, and she's been looking good at both ends for the Dream.
Who would have thought Atlanta? 8 threes already.
Got a Brianna Jones who can shoot threes and stretch the floor. I'll call that for Atlanta.
Backdoor, more movement from Indiana. Gets another bucket. It's a little bit of a seesaw.
When Clark, Boston, and Mitchell were struggling, Howard stepped in and punished Atlanta. No one expected it. No one was ready for it. This was supposed to be Clark versus Griner, but instead, it was a team that came back from humiliation and made one of the league's biggest stars completely disappear. Caitlin Clark didn't have to save the Fever this time because Sophie Cunningham came back and brought the fire.
Handoff, Clark. Skip pass left wing. Cunningham tees it up, and the three is good. That does it for the first 10 minutes. The Fever trail the Dream 18-13.
In just 20 minutes, off the bench, 9 points, 6 rebounds. She sparked an 11-0 run, hit her first 3 of the season, and took a charge in the final seconds. Pure energy, pure chaos, pure impact. Then came Lexi Hull. 10 points, 4 assists, career-high performance.
Hull going right at Tahina Pow and gets the bucket, a much-needed bucket for Indiana.
Rings, pass right elbow, Hull hangs, jumper, good off the backboard.
Atlanta had no answer. The same bench that was a weakness all season just outscored Atlanta's by 16 points. This wasn't a one-woman show anymore. The Fever proved they were deeper, stronger, and ready to win ugly. Even with Clark shooting bricks, they looked like contenders. And it's all because role players stepped up when the lights were the brightest. This team didn't just bounce back. They transformed. Caitlin Clark was 0 for 5 from 3. She had 5 fouls. Her shot, cold. But her message, red hot. After a hard foul from Ryan Howard, Clark got up, looked her dead in the eye, and said what the cameras caught loud and clear, "I'm not scared of you." That one sentence flipped the energy. The crowd got louder, the game got more physical, and the Fever, they turned up the heat. Clark didn't need to hit threes. She led with toughness. Her confidence became contagious. Even Natasha Howard, even Lexi Hull, they fed off her fire.
WNBA is exactly what she expected to be. Faster paced, tougher, more physical, more intense.
Damaris Dantas with the rejection against Alicia Gray.
Hit her and said, "I dare you to shoot that ball." She's 50% in this game from 3, but she can knock it down.
Back-to-back buckets for Indiana. Now things are starting to groove.
Because sometimes leadership isn't about scoring, it's about refusing to back down. And that's what Caitlin Clark gave them. Belief, swagger, grit. This wasn't just a win. It was the moment the Indiana Fever became dangerous. The Indiana Fever didn't just get revenge. They sent a warning to the entire WNBA. They beat a playoff team on the road. They shut down Brittany Griner, and they did it all with their superstar having the worst game of her career. That's not luck. That's depth. That's grit. That's a team evolving in real time. Natasha Howard took over. Sophie Cunningham made her presence felt. Lexi Hull dominated off the bench. And Caitlin Clark, even in her lowest moment, showed exactly why she's a leader. The trash talk, the swagger, the fire. This team is no longer rebuilding. They're ready. And if this game proved anything, it's that you can shut down Clark's shot, but you can't shut down her will. The Fever are coming, and the rest of the league better be ready.
I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened.
This wasn't just a game. This was a statement, a battle, a brawl in sneakers. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. The moment the entire WNBA had circled in red. And what happened next will shock you. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just win. She dominated. She humiliated. And just when the dust seemed to settle, a flagrant foul, a heated standoff, and a stare down at half court sent the entire league into chaos. But let's rewind. This was supposed to be a celebration of women's basketball, a marquee matchup between the league's 2 most polarizing rookies. One is the golden girl of the WNBA, the face of the Fever, the player ESPN cannot stop talking about. The other, a self-proclaimed queen of the paint, ready to shut Clark down by any means necessary. Yet what we got was something far more intense than anyone expected. From the opening tip, the tension was obvious. The crowd knew it. The broadcasters felt it. Every possession had a little extra push, a little extra shove. Caitlin Clark buried a 3 from the logo just minutes into the first quarter, and you could almost feel the fuse light. But the biggest explosion That came later, in a moment so wild, so raw, the cameras couldn't look away. After a missed shot and a fight for a rebound, Clark and Reese tangled in a way that had the entire arena on its feet. The result? A flagrant foul, a viral highlight.
The on-court ruling of a personal foul on Caitlin Clark has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 1.
And a question that fans are still debating. Did Angel Reese cross the line? And here's the twist. While everyone was focused on the drama, Caitlin Clark quietly made history. She delivered a triple-double, her first ever in the WNBA. 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and points. More than enough. While Reese jawed and flexed, Clark passed, scored, and led her team to an overwhelming 35-point blowout win. So now, the media is split. Some say Reese got exposed. Others say the foul was a message, a sign that Clark won't be allowed to run this league unchecked. But everyone agrees on one thing. This rivalry is far from over. Therefore, if you think this was just another regular season matchup, think again. What happened between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese might change the WNBA forever, not just because of the final score, but because of what it revealed about two of the league's biggest stars. And by the end of this story, you'll understand exactly why this feud is about more than basketball. It's about legacy, power, and who gets to own the spotlight in the new era of the WNBA. From the very first possession, this wasn't basketball, this was war. And the first shot fired, it came from Caitlin Clark. With the sky up early, Clark was fouled on a hard drive to the rim.
Here's Clark working through some contact. Clark diving in, gets the whistle.
She didn't flinch, just stepped to the line, nailed both free throws, and stared down the Chicago bench. No celebration, just cold confidence. But that was only the beginning. Moments later, Angel Reese came crashing through the lane. Elbows out, shoulders lowered. She bullied her way to the rim and sent a message with a tough layup in traffic.
Clark excelled a season ago.
Angel Reese dives in and finishes through the contact.
The arena shifted. You could feel it. This was more than a game. This was personal. But Clark responded like she always does, with a three from way beyond the arc. Splash. Net didn't even move. And the stare she gave after? Ruthless. That shot didn't just tie the game, it flipped the momentum and it set a tone. Therefore, this battle became less about team strategies and more about who could outshine the other. Kelsey Mitchell joined the firefight, scoring on tough jumpers.
Here's Mitchell, will fire, and hit from three.
But everything and everyone seemed to orbit around Clark and Reese. Every time Clark hit a jumper, Reese muscled her way to the rim. Every time Reese scored in the paint, Clark pulled up from the perimeter and drilled another dagger.
So many different places on the floor. Clark, little mid-range, is good.
But something snapped in the second half. A rebound bounced high off the rim. Both Clark and Reese went for it. Arms tangled, hands fought. And then, it happened. Clark ripped at the ball with pure aggression. Reese held tight. The two locked eyes. Neither backed down. And the arena exploded. Replay showed it clearly. Reese shoved Clark's teammate before the scrum, and Clark saw it. That's what lit the fire.
That Angel took exception to. So initially, Angel pushes Natasha Howard. Caitlin Clark points out the no call. Then she applies a hard foul on Reese. Reese gets up right away to get in the face of Clark.
This wasn't some overreaction. It was retaliation. Clark stood up for her teammate the only way she knows how, with grit, fire, and zero hesitation. Therefore, the refs hit Reese with a flagrant one. The internet divided. Some said Clark flopped. Others praised her intensity, but no one could deny the electricity that moment brought. And through all of this chaos, Clark kept playing her game. She hit another deep three.
Here's Clark firing and hitting.
She dished out assist after assist. She ran the offense with poise most rookies can only dream of. Meanwhile, Reese was clearly frustrated. Her body language shifted. She missed close-range shots. She argued with refs.
Banham flicks it ahead. Reese goes in.
And with every Clark basket, the gap on the scoreboard widened. But it wasn't just about the points. It was about control. Clark had it. Reese lost it. And by the fourth quarter, the Sky were in free fall. Chicago's defense broke down. Indiana kept feeding Clark, and she kept delivering. A hesitation dribble. Step back three.
4 seconds left. Clark fires. You bet!
Splash. Crowd goes wild, and with just over a minute to play, Clark launched another bomb from deep.
Here's Clark firing. Hey!
Back-to-back threes that silenced the haters and sealed the win. Therefore, this wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Caitlin Clark didn't just beat Angel Reese, she exposed her. The difference in composure, skill, and leadership was undeniable. And just when it seemed like the rivalry had reached its peak, something else happened. With the final buzzer echoing through the arena, the scoreboard told one story. Indiana Fever 93, Chicago Sky 58. But the real story? That was playing out off the court. Because while Caitlin Clark walked off the floor with a triple-double and the spotlight firmly on her, Angel Reese was left staring into space, frustrated, furious, and maybe, just maybe, outmatched. The moment went viral. Cameras caught Reese refusing to shake hands. Clark, calm and collected, walked back to the bench, barely reacting. Reporters asked about the flagrant foul. Reese brushed it off.
Just what you saw on that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, right?
Clark didn't take the bait.
You got the flagrant, Aaliyah, you got a technical. What
Wait, what?
happened there?
If you got the tech?
I know. Wait, what?
I got the tech?
I did not.
Oh,
First of all,
I know.
let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened after. You know, we watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul to put them at the free throw line or rather give up 2 points. You know, I watched a lot of basketball in my life. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to do anything malicious. That's not the type of player I am. So, yeah, this wasn't anything like that. And I went for the ball, and that's clear as day in the replay. You watch it. You know, it shouldn't have been upgraded. But again, that's up to the ref's discretion. But I appreciate AB having my back. I guess I don't even know what she did. I didn't see that.
Well, girl,
have fun paying that fine.
Can I get half? Can you?
I got it for you. No worries.
But fans did. Social media exploded. Yarshar Clark vs. Reese was trending in minutes. Some called Clark soft, others said Reese was reckless. And then came the hot takes. Former players, analysts, even celebrities jumping into the debate. Everyone had an opinion, but no one had the full story. Because here's what most people missed. When the two tangled for that rebound, the replay revealed something subtle but game-changing. Angel Reese shoved Nalissa Howard before Clark ever jumped in. That moment wasn't about ego or attitude. It was about loyalty. Clark saw her teammate get hit. She saw no whistle. And she acted. Therefore, what looked like a petty fight was actually something much deeper. It was Clark doing what leaders do, protecting her team and sending a message. We're not backing down. And this is where the narrative shifts. For months, critics have questioned whether Caitlin Clark could survive in the WNBA. Too flashy, too soft, too hyped. But this game, this blowout, flipped all of that on its head. Not only did Clark dominate statistically, she showed toughness, leadership, and fire. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, for all her talk and swagger, couldn't match Clark's poise, couldn't control the game, couldn't stop the bleeding. But don't get it twisted. This story isn't over, not even close. Because the next time these two meet, the pressure will be even higher, the spotlight even brighter, and the stakes personal. The league wants this rivalry, the fans demand it, and every player in that locker room knows when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese share the court, it's not just about basketball, it's about who controls the future of the WNBA. So here's the question, did Caitlin Clark just take the crown? Or is Angel Reese about to come back stronger than ever?